Welcome on in, WWA Nation, to an exclusive podcast here right on YouTube. Now, what we brought in before was the announcers, Brian and Kaz, but it's time to mix things up and really bring in the people who have been in the trenches, been here from the get-go, for the most part, of Season 4. It is Michelangelo Coop, the GM of Havoc, and we got Mr. Purple, the GM of Breakout. We're going to bring in Michelangelo first. Michelangelo, if you can give me a 1-2.
1, 2, test.
Good to hear. And then Breakout Zone.
Test. 1, 2.
1-2. Welcome on in. Thank you guys for not only coming in, sparing your time to be here today, but giving the WWA Nation a show. Because let's face it, I mean, we hate to be on breaks, but CEO sometimes needs them.
Could have used the overtime, so
I get it.
See, we all get paid by the same guy.
I trust me, I get paid a lot. So, it's not the point though. We have been here from April, May is when we're basically started here. We came from a new game, 2K22, a lot of twists, a lot of turns. But we've also had a brand new changes of GMs straight into the halfway point of Season 4, might I add. I'm going to start with Michelangelo first, representing Havoc. We had, you know what, before I go any further, tell me about your roster. You drafted what you had, men, women, the new signees you've had also as well. Any people that you've exceeded expectations, some of the rookies that you brought on and you thought, hey, oh my, they're going to be the next big thing. Or people that you thought were going to start great and have really kind of fallen off the ladder. Let me know what you're thinking.
Well, of course, Ronan, he became everything that I thought he would, and then he stepped on some toes, so, we'll see how that plays out. But, the biggest surprise to me was Noah Alexander.
Absolutely.
He came in by storm and just took the scene, and I think big things are coming for him next season. I've been, there's some disappointments. I thought, King Blackheart's story coming back, but I thought he'd have a bigger role this year.
He's been gone for more than half the season, too. He didn't come back till October.
Yeah, and then of course, he got into it with Evil Dead, so now he's very busy.
Absolutely.
And then Gio, when he came over, that was everything I expected. He's really raised the levels of people as I expected him to do. And then our old champ OG, he's kind of fallen away, so that was a little bit of a disappointment. But we've had some great replacements.
Havoc has lived up to the name Havoc more than ever this season. I feel like you guys have just been causing chaos left and right. Problems
Always.
good and bad. Yeah, I know, keeping with the theme, right? But, I mean, really, you just think of things with Ronan. I forgot Ronan was your number one pick, right?
He was.
He was, yeah. I mean, you're looking at guys like Ronan. Gio came in at the back, well, I wouldn't say the back half of the trade deadline. Chad from Finance is another excellent talent.
Yeah.
But looking
Can't
at some
forget
big
Chad.
names, Christopher Tremont is a big one that a lot of people have high expectations for since signing from the Grand Prix that we'll talk about later on here in a little bit. But also, too, Noah Alexander, who came in before pre-Grand Prix. And this guy has just captivated the WWA Nation with his charisma, with his attitude. But really, the moment he had was his Grand Prix, almost that Cinderella story. The man was just unstoppable.
He really has been. It's been amazing that he's been constant communication with me, and he's grown from listening to the ideas that we've had, and we've pushed him in the right direction, and look where he is now.
Absolutely. And sometimes you kind of need a new fresh paint of coat, as the great Bruce Pritchard likes to say. We brought in, due to a little bit of a situation, we brought in Mr. Perp. I wouldn't say at the halfway point, but really coming in after the second month of Season 4 WWA. But if there's someone that I can give so much credit to, I said this at the prior podcast with Kaz and Brian, that Mr. Perp, I think you need an extra flower or two, because not only did you come in here and you had to go in to about 300 feet deep of water learning how to swim in high tides, you not only have excelled in swimming, but you're really just captivating what the people want. Like, you're wanting to give them stories, and the best part of this all, this is not your brand technically. This is someone else's roster that you took over. So I want to just, I know it's obviously disappointing. You're hoping to get a second tenure into season 5, which is, I cannot believe we're coming up to the big 5 here in a little bit. Tell me about what you thought bringing on the roster that you had, the rookies you signed like AR Legend, Gamer Domain. Holy shit, I could talk to them about them all day. But more importantly, your brand as a whole.
So I want to start off by saying I am very blessed to have gotten such great rookies right off the bat. Air Legend and the Gamer Domain just took off really by themselves. I just had to help with a little nudges here and there. But what also helped was the trade. As you know, I traded away the number 1 pick from the old GM, Giovanni Romano, for
Risky move.
the current breakout heavyweight champion, Lethal Wire. And you were discussing who I thought excelled. When I got Lethal Wire, I was expecting him to excel this quickly.
I could agree. I don't think anyone saw Lethal Wire right now being heavyweight champion, really bypassing every other title and going straight to the top in a controversial fashion, and not to mention controversial finishes. But I mean, yeah, you've taken such a role and you've just grabbed it by the you know what and made the most of it. And I mean, you're looking at the roster, like you said, Lethal Wire, AR Legend, Almighty Smooth Nino. Talk about the cream of the crop there. BDJ, what was once Michael Grid known as Durg, and the list goes on and on, especially a talent. Again, we're going to get into a lot of this later on. In Jonathan Slade, talking about the Cinderella story of season 4. Holy shit.
The Slade really did have a big turnaround. I'm very proud of his progress. And we'll see what he could do at WorldZY Mania.
Well, did you feel any pressure, nerves? Because I mean, Michelangelo came on and he and I's had those talks where it's like, man, this is when you're sitting from the other perspective, when you're behind the curtain, so to speak, the perspective, people coming at you daily, asking you for stories, pitches, how they should be on, she should be on top, how they should be in the next big thing, this, that, the other. I mean, you guys deal with a lot. So for the fact that this wasn't your baby originally, again, hoping to get tenured in season 5, I mean, did you feel that pressure trying to please an already uneasy talent with their general manager being released?
Well, I will say the first week there was a little nerves, more excitement than anything. But after the first week, I felt pretty comfortable, and I just felt the momentum come, and I ran with it.
Absolutely. That's the way to go about it, man. Just believe in yourself and, make the most of it. We've had a crazy ride of season 4, but most importantly, we have opened the door to different E-federations. We've seen 3 different 4, again, you count CWL. We've seen people from GCW. We've seen Dorado Pro Wrestling. We've got Primal Promotions, the PvP. We had a lot of people from the Grand Prix come in, but we also started by opening door the CWL versus the WWA. Now, that was a big moment, but for both of you guys, I know there was a lot of, I wouldn't say hesitation, but there was nerves coming into this thinking, is everything going to settle just right? And I want to get you, because you've been here, you've been a fan since day one, Michelangelo, what you were thinking about not only opening the door, but actually having success with this door being open thus far.
I mean, kudos to the other E-Feds that,
Absolutely
allowed their calls in, and there was tons of nerves. As you know, I've been here from day one, and the success rate of that hasn't been so good. We've had some
We're definitely
terrible
hit
times. And so really it coming out to work out was awesome. And I really think it raised the level of WWA and the potential of things we can go about doing moving forward.
Yeah, Sue, obviously you were a big fan before you signed on the dotted line here. Were you here for Behind Enemy? Well, I know you as fan, but were you a GM yet or no?
No, I was not.
Okay, so then let's segue into this coming to the Grand Prix. You've seen the success with Behind Enemy Lines, but now introducing other people to the Grand Prix, where you guys had, again, the Y and Z block was made a breakout and Havoc. You had a couple people represent different federation on your block, and how did you feel about just different brands coming into the WWE?
I feel like it really elevates not only the talents EFED that they came from, but the WWE as well. Because the best from their EFEDs come to participate in this. And some of them sign, some of them don't. The ones that do sign end up usually doing pretty well. And like I said, they just elevate the WWE.
Obviously one hand washes the other, and that's what we're here to do. I mean, we're all here to help each other out at the end of the day. But we've had, obviously we've had the Grand Prix. We're going to talk about later the upcoming stuff. But one of the big things I want to talk about was the pay-per-views this year. Obviously, production levels have definitely improved, but I feel like the pay-per-views had such an intensity with each one, but more importantly, in such a unique way. We're going to throw it right back at you, Mr. Perp. These pay-per-views in particular, number one, I want you to give me your favorite one, your favorite pay-per-view thus far, mini or big. And number two, you as a general manager doing your first ever pay-per-view, the pressure of giving people the right matches with the right stories, but most of all, making sure that everything is delivered, on time, because it's crunch week, as we know, when it comes to pay-per-views.
It's a really hard question for the favorite pay-per-view. I have really split between two, but I think I'm going to have to go with Bound by Blood.
Great one.
I
That's my
love
favorite.
the chambers. The chambers just add an extra factor for me.
Yeah.
The storylines behind it were perfect. I just thought it was a great promotion.
And you having to actually, no longer, again, being on the other side of the spectrum here, you're now running pay-per-views. You're helping book pay-per-views, and to have the stories, drive to such an all-time high to get there. What was that like? And more importantly, how does it feel when at the end of the day, when the pay-per-view has hit that ending credit scene, that you feel that you've helped put on a great performance?
Honestly, it's exhilarating getting to put together these pay-per-views, the stories for everybody. I love helping the nation with their stories to elevate each other in this brand. I didn't really feel any nerves really for pay-per-views, surprisingly. It was more excitement and exhilaration.
Michelangelo, number one, your favorite pay-per-view, mini or major, doesn't matter which one. Number
Ooh.
two, obviously you're in the same realm, but more importantly, you were the general manager for Behind Enemy Lines too, in that EFED versus EFED. So what was it like, really just taking over your first pay-per-view, really, like I said, trying to deliver a performance, but also number one, what was your favorite?
Well, I have to agree with Mr. Perp. Bound by Blood was been one of my favorites. Legacy was one of my favorites. We had Last Survivor, and that was a great show too. So it's really been tough to choose. It's tough to choose. But I think I have to agree with Mr. Perp and go with Bound by Blood as my favorite. There's you can't stop those chambers. It's a great exciting time when we got 6 men locked in a chamber.
Absolutely. And now you actually, like I said, mentioned with Sue or Mr. Perp, apologies. You running your running the pay-per-view, making sure it's there, making sure the stories matter, and being there for the talent, because again, when it comes crunch week, a lot of people want to get on that card, but unfortunately, you're looking at a 10, 12, 14. I mean, we just talked about WorldZY Mania 3 having a 14, but I don't know if we've had 14s that much this year. We've really been capping around 10 to 12.
Yeah, we have been limiting it a little bit this year, but I mean, it's about the people who want it. We're really trying to showcase the people that want to be in the WWA, who want to rise in the WA. They don't necessarily even have to be a champion or want to be a champion. They just want to have the great stories, like you said. And going to Behind Enemy Lines was probably one of the scarier moments because obviously you want WWA to represent itself great. You don't want any backlash. You don't want bad crossovers, and ultimately you want WWA to win. So making sure you have the right talent for that was quite a challenge.
It's a challenging time, and obviously everyone persevered and made the most of it. And I like how these things have changed with season 4.
Mhm.
Limiting the card because you know not me, the CEO themselves. We want to make sure that the people that are really bringing the best story possible that they can, they're really been working with their counterpart or with whoever it may be to deliver a best story who is really always active, always participating, trying to make chicken shit out of chicken salad. They want to make the most out of everything. So those people deserve to be in the pay per view spotlight, no matter if their name small, medium, or large.
Exactly.
If I may, competition breeds excellence.
Absolutely.
So by minimizing how much matches we have, how many matches we have, it inspires everybody to fight for their place on the card, which in turn elevates the product.
And that's what it comes down to
Well
at the end
said.
of the day. I mean, competition does breed excellence. We put that as quote of the day for Sunday. But healthy competition, it's the great way to go about it. And if that's how you want to go to show, you got to make the most of it. Not every story can be a home run, but you can make the most of what you create. It's a sandbox here in the WWA. And speaking of which, too, with stories, I want to talk about a couple stories here in particular. Some that have really been captivating. Some I'm looking to see unfold. I want to talk about the who has been my pick for season 4 of the WWA here, and that is Giovanni Romano. This guy came in, let's literally got buried with a shovel, so to speak, by the Beast Coop at the beginning. Damn near lost his career. Came back, lost the ladder match for the Golden Buy-in briefcase that Lethal Wire cashed in on. But Gio takes a left turn, and now it's crazy that in what world people chant for Giovanni Romano. I'd ask if we're in a parallel universe, but it's real. He gets traded to Havoc. He makes this change, and now he is gunning for Sue. Well, until he gets cleared. But that buildup for Giovanni Romano, Michelangelo, is huge, and for you to get that trade is such a big deal. How do you feel Giovanni has been, but more importantly, the turnaround he has made since I'll just call it the mid to halfway point of season 4?
Oh well, it's been uncanny. Like I said, I had some clear expectations for him when he came in to be the guy who he turned into, to be that guy who's raising the level of everybody on the show. He's challenged everyone, even down to Noah, the rookies, to Chad, to Sue. He's making everyone step up their game. So maybe those shots to the head with the shovel, maybe
He
tighten the
swings
right
hard.
screws.
Hard. I can firmly agree after seeing that mauling. But I agree with what you said. I said this too. I've said this to a couple people before, and we're going to talk about this too as well. I think Giovanni is the standard for what a WWA competitor, good, bad, or ugly, should be. I think if you want to deliver a great promo, a passionate promo, or just a promo in general, right now he's the guy. He
Absolutely.
the way his promos were, I cannot stress. I love the little things of promos, and when he did the church promo twice, one where he was on the podium like he is the man, to doing the same exact promo in a way, but from a different perspective where he's now with the people and now he's the man of the people. He's the guy to set the tone. I mean, it's no mistake about it. Noah Alexander, he's looking to get maybe, I don't know, looking to get inspiration from Gio with that passion, because look what happened. Noah beat Gio. Again, there was some controversy there, but right now, if I had to put a bet, I truly believe Giovanni Romano is the guy for season 4 of the WWA right now. I don't think anyone can touch him.
Agreed. And he's the inspiration of what we're looking for in a wrestler. He shows you never to quit, to never give up, no matter if you won that belt or not. Just keep going for what you want.
I mean, you can love him, you can hate him, but at the end of the day, he will. You know who Giovanni Romano is, and someone as well too who's really just. It's crazy to think that he was the superstar of the year. He was the best of the year, but yet again, this man is still on top. Mr. Perp, and I'm talking about almighty smooth Nino here. Obviously, he's had a little bit of bumps in the road. Not really his one maybe his fault, arguably, with the upset in Atlanta, but almighty smooth doesn't seem to be skipping a beat whatsoever, Mr. Perp.
Me put it to you this way: Nino may not have the belt, but Breakout is still Nino's show.
Yeah, he's the flag bearer without question. And it's crazy to think someone that hot that does not have the belt, and you look at him and you're like, that's his brand, that's his show. And it's crazy, and it's, obviously situation, Lethal Wire cashed in, it happened, but you're talking about a guy who literally started Bound by Blood. If I can rank all of them, Bound by Blood has got to be number one in terms of the pay-per-view, the content itself. And The Last Survivor has got to be a close second, but that's more or less story and production-wise. But Bound by Blood, number one. And at the Chamber, Nino started it and finished it, which, unbelievable. Again, the controversy is what it is. But it just goes to show you that right now the story may be the rookies, but Nino's not looking to give in anytime soon.
I completely agree. Nino is maintaining his spot on top of Breakout, and what I like to call Breakout the land of opportunity, because our rookies are just taking over by storm.
The rookies are indeed taking over. I mean, men, women, and Centaur. And again, we're going to talk about rookies here in just a little bit. Right now, we want to thank you guys as well for tuning in. We appreciate you so much for being here Sunday, 12 p.m. EST. Hope you like what you're seeing. But yeah, I mean, we're really coming to a wrap here. Season 4 right now is crazy to think. And, as we talk about this, I know, holy shit, I was talking about behind enemy lines with someone, how well it was going to go. And now I close my eyes, and turns out we are at the very end of all of it. So we talked about rookies, men, women, Centaur. I want to swap to the ladies right now. It is crazy to think to me that, number one, Nina, although arguably still going to be the queen of that division, that you're looking at stars like Zoe Raven just emerge from literally, I wouldn't say left field, but damn near, had a rough start in the beginning of season 4, came back, but my God, who elevated Zoe Raven was not Nina Rose. It was not Serena Tenebra. It was Maria freaking Constantina. I mean, those two were destined to be together.
They sure were.
Mr. Perp.
Maria.
Yeah, Maria.
Maria seems to not elevate just Zoe Raven, but anybody that she goes against.
Seems to know how to get under that skin just right to get everybody a little fired up.
And I love it. How many comments I've got, they're like, Maria just gets under my skin. And with the smile on my face, I say, good, do something about it. Because she came in here in one season. She is a rookie. Michelangelo and Mr. Perp. If people didn't pay attention, they wouldn't know it. But came in, defeated Nina, then wins the women's IC, then wins the women's undisputed championship. It's unbelievable the run she's had. And then this long story with Zoe Raven. Zoe Raven winning the trilogy of that. But my God almighty, if we had to look at a Maria Constantina, I easily rookie of the year for the ladies, I would say.
Wow, it's without doubt, hands down.
I strongly agree. I'd also like to add that when she did win that undisputed championship, it was against a hot Nina as well.
Very hot Nina.
And Nina Rose was laying in those heavy hands, the heavy just power slams, even survived a wreckage, but it was weathering the storm. And Maria showed the flaw in Nina Rose's arsenal, which, again, unbelievable. And it's crazy to think, too, because Maria's not the only rookie for the ladies. I mean, you're looking at Victoria Townsend coming to hell. Rose didn't even technically start, if I believe, till the Newcomer Battle Royale at WorldZY Mania 3. So this arguably is Rose's real rookie year. I may get that mistaken. They may have started beforehand, but I'm pretty sure Rose started at the Newcomer Battle Royale.
It's right there.
Correct.
I was correct. Okay.
But just if you would have asked me at the beginning of season 4, the person that would have probably taken down Nina, I would have went with my first pick, which would have been Zoe Raven. Obviously she's the
Yeah.
champ now, but the way Maria came in and just took us all by storm was uncanny.
It's probably over exaggeration, but that strong of a rookie almost made me forget about everything else because Maria was that hot, that strong, and not hot in that sense, but in terms of momentum. But it's just the performance, it, and I loved it because Maria has one move. It is Jake the Snake Roberts. It's DDP. It's Randy Orton. It is that one sleeper hold. She can sit there and fight all night long and then some, but Maria gets the sleeper hold in. You lose, game over. But, with Marie Constantina, I want to talk about one other rookie before we move on here, and we're going to swap it over. Two I want to talk about real fast. I always say men, women, and Centaur. We've had foxes. We've had 80,000 different wolves here in the WWA, but we've only had one centaur. And it is crazy the evolution, the rise in charisma. I mean, no one even remembers this loser over here, Anthony, because of the way Tug Mukow not only presents himself, but then when we heard Mukow speak, we're like, oh my God, he's got the gift of gab too. This cat can talk. Mr. Perp, your thoughts, because this is your character. This is not your character. This is your talent in Tug Mukow and the rise of the Centaur.
When I first got Mukow, I thought that he would be mid-card talent. I'm not going to lie. He was a funny, lovable person, centaur. I'm sorry. But then he started to show me something more, and he came to me asking for a chance to prove that he could do more, and I gave him the shot, and he's been running with it. I'm very proud of his progression.
I think he's tied with the most eliminations at Last Survivor. I didn't put that on my bingo card.
And he's another from CWL, correct?
Yeah. Sure was. They breed great talent over there, or they did. I'm very unfortunate too about what happened with CWL, but
And we're
Tug
raising that town a little higher.
we're just helping them, really believe in who they are and go from there. It's just crazy that how people really have just went behind Tug Mukow, win, lose, or draw, but more importantly, that they gave him a chance. And the last rookie too that I didn't see this guy have so much momentum until about his third match in, and I'm talking about the Gamer Domain. Gamer Domain is we've never had anyone like him before, where he is literally the nerdiest of nerds. He is me playing DMZ. He's got strength, but his Babe Ruth swing changes. I mean, it's everything. But his match, I will live rent free in my head. The Unknown versus Gamer Domain, and we know which one we're talking about right here. It's the trilogy they had. 15 minutes, no holds barred. I mean, they broke tables, they broke a barricade, they went non-stop back and forth. Mr. Perp, Gamer Domain, holy hell.
What I just love the most about Gamer Domain is when you see him, it looks like you just went off the streets for like, you want to wrestle, and pulled him in. But as soon as he gets in that ring and you see his technical prowess, you could tell that he's been doing this for a while. I feel like he makes people underestimate him a bit. And to see the Gamer Domain and Unknown matches, anytime you put those two in a ring, you're guaranteed a 5-star match.
Oh my God. Talk about destined to be together. The Unknown and Gamer Domain, just incredible talent. But Gamer Domain obviously just, when you've hit a home run, no pun intended. When I'm getting DMs, and that's a true story, I've legitimately got DMs about Gamer Domain, and people are like, whoever this guy is, he is something special. And for me as an announcer, not a CEO, to sit back and see that, I'm like, I know this is somebody special. And we hope to continue seeing the growth, the elevation of Gamer Domain because, again, Season 5 around the corner. We talk about maybe Geo's the guy, the standard of Season 4. Gamer Domain could definitely be a standard for Season 5.
I could also make the argument for AR Legend.
Holy shit, AR Legend. Listen, he's my pick. Which I guess this is a good time to translate over here, WWA Nation, because we've had a quick. I mean, again, we have a little bit of a personal situation going on, so we don't really know what February is looking like. But February 5th, as of right now, is going to be the WorldZY Awards. Now, again, it's just like any other award show, but obviously we put our own little WWA spin on it. Male superstar, female superstar, best of the best, rookie, rising star, match of the year, la-di-da. We are going to start with Rookie of the Year for the men and for the ladies. So we'll do one male, one female. We're going to start with Michelangelo Coop here. Give me a Rookie of the Year for men and women. Go.
Well, I think the men's pretty easy. I think you already know my answer on that one. It's going to be Noah Alexander. The women, the women talent.
Valencia Rose, Maria Victoria Townsend, Amber Blackwell.
I mean, you really can't overlook Maria. I mean, what she accomplished in one season, coming pretty much out of nowhere. Like, we didn't see her come from another E-Fed. We didn't see her coming anywhere. She came out of left field. So Maria's going to be my pick.
Maria came from GCW at the time, and
Oh,
nobody really knew about
I don't think I really knew that.
Yeah, see, we didn't really advertise Maria came from GCW. I don't think anybody knew that, unless those that were from that realm. But when Maria came in, Maria just made the WWA her own. So I couldn't agree more. Mr. Perp, we've heard it. Noah, Maria, you have got the steering wheel. Go.
Well, first off, I'm going to tell Mr. Michelangelo, you're wrong. AR Legend is obviously my pick. AR Legend just has elevated not only Breakout, but the WWA with the IC Championship runs. On top of that, he's just got this finesse and style to him that makes you watch whenever he's in that ring.
He's got the it factor.
And I will agree with the female, Maria. You can't. I don't see anybody that has come even close to Maria. She calls herself the standard, and I completely agree.
Yeah, I mean, easy all across the board. It's got to be Maria Constantina for me. And if Maria does not get Rookie of the Year, I need to take a close look at the voting poll. Male system, Jesus, hit those emotes. Male superstar, obviously, that is going to be a tough one. I mean, you're looking at Gamer Domain, Marcus Kane. You're looking at AR Legend, and I know I'm missing. Christopher Tremont has come in and done well. I know I'm missing people, and I do apologize. For me, to someone that has come in here, defeated Schwam on his first day, has been in 2 IC title scenes. Unfortunately, he struck out both occasions. He wins the 2nd annual Grand Prix as a rookie, and then got himself into a title scene. But again, we don't know what's going to be happening there, so a little bit of rigged. We're just going to have to find out because technically the season's not over, but kind of is. AR Legend has got to be my pick. I thought he was going to be the guy from the get-go. He is someone, too, that when he loses, people have a tough time remembering the winner because you remember his performance more than anything. And that speaks volumes to the performer of AR Legend in my eyes.
I can agree. I think ultimately, in my opinion, it could come down to AR Legend and Giovanni Romano
Being
for Superstar.
Oh, Superstar.
Oh.
Wow, okay.
Oh.
Well, I guess that's well, let's segue that into right there. So let's do one male and female Superstar of the Year. We are going to start with Mr. Perp this time. You know what? I lied. We'll start with me. Superstar of the Year. I said it. I think Giovanni Romano is. I think he's it. I really do. With everyone, and I'm talking with Nino, Chad, Noah, Sue. I mean, all have just made big. I mean, they all make big waves in the ocean. But someone who just keeps appearing and just keeps putting on promos, putting in the work in and out of the ring. Giovanni Romano's got to be my pick. In terms of female superstar of the year, I can make an argument for Maria Constantina. I really can. That would be that would be my front runner. But honestly, it's crazy to think I would give it to Zoe Raven because I don't think anyone saw Zoe Raven winning the Bound by Blood Chamber, starting it and finishing it. So, Mr. Perp, you go.
I do have to agree with you, Giovanni Romano for male superstar of the year. I would like to make an argument for a very close second in Hanzo Hasashi.
I'd put him as a rising star of the year. I could say that.
Rising star? I could agree with that.
I could see that.
The reason why I say Hanzo Hasashi is because he elevated not one belt, but two. But anyway, for female superstar of the year, I'm gonna have to go with Nina still. Nina Rose, the Storm. She was a dominant force in the WWA for the better half of the season. She's had her trips towards the end of the season, but she still was the dominant force for almost the whole season.
Michelangelo, one male overall, or not male, one male superstar and one female superstar.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to stick with my pick of Geo. I mean, the way he's come across to Havoc, the way he's risen up, and Havoc was kind of running stale at a moment, and he took it back to another level and inspired others. You can't really look past that.
I think that's a very strong pick, but now the argument comes to the ladies.
This is tough. So many. I mean, who? Maria, you can't look past Maria. I agree with Mr. Perp. You can't. I mean, Nina Rose it's Nina Rose. She's always that dominant force, and I think she's still going to be that dominant force that everybody's concerned with. But
Ask Serena how
I
she's
have
feeling.
to. I think I might have to give it to Zoe. Like you said, I might have to agree with you a little bit. Just coming out there and taking over where nobody expected it, and bringing down Maria, which we couldn't foresee anybody doing this season, besides Queen Nina. So I might have to give it to Zoe.
Yeah, I might have to as well. The ultimate test was what I called Murderer's Row of Valencia, Nina, and Maria Constantina. I literally think actually was in that order that it went by in terms of the chamber. And the fact that Zoe started, and I believe I have to check my facts here, my history book, but I think Zoe got half the eliminations too, which is unbelievably impressive to do that in
I
the
believe
chamber.
you're correct.
It's an unreal performance. But yeah, my last one here, and then we're going to start to pump the brakes on this podcast. We've had the male superstar of the year. We've had the male female superstar. We've had the rookie of the year. What I want to know from both of you, who is going to be the rising star of the year? Someone who's really brought in, is going to be a big deal in the foreseeable future of the WWA. We made a conversation of Hanzo. Someone who was rising star of the year last year was Sub-Zero Ronin. There's male and female for this. We'll do one of each. I will start. The rising star of the year. I mean, you can even blend in rookies with this one. Hanzo was a very good pick because he had a hard time finding that, breaking that glass ceiling. Hanzo was always right there, but just couldn't seem to put enough pressure to break it. And then finally won the IC title from Garthy in an unbelievable performance. But man, I don't know. I'm gonna say it because I don't want to. I don't like it because they're snakes. I think Lethal Wire is going to be a rising star for the male. I think that not only is he playing chess in a checkers world, but he is 3 steps ahead of Almighty Smooth Nino. And while there's controversy, while he can't seem to get wins on his own, he's still the champion in the record books right now. So that would be my male pick. Female Rising Star of the Year, there is no argument. It is Serena Tenebra. And everything changed for Serena Tenebra at Behind Enemy Lines. The run she is having, unfortunately receiving a minor injury at the last Survivor due to the wrath of Nina Rose, which, again, we hope Serena Tenebra is okay, whatever the diagnosis may be. Michelangelo Coop, Rising Star. Again, there's some rookies in there. There's some people who can be labeled Rising Stars, male and female. You go.
Oh man. Again, Noah's a good
I think
fit
Noah's
to
a
that.
great kid. Yeah.
He's a rising star, and I mean, if he keeps pushing the way he is, and he keeps grinding the way he is, if he keeps learning the way he is, I mean, season 5, look out, you could be in trouble.
Absolutely.
But looking at it, I think I might have to give it to Hanzo Hasashi. He has accomplished a lot. He's come a long way. He's found his voice. So I think I'd have to give it to Hanzo. And then the women, there's so many. Riley was a force to be reckoned with.
Still holding the golden buy-in briefcase, might I add.
I don't know, Maria, Serena's having a great year. Yeah, man, I'd hate to say it again, but I might have to give that to Maria too, just because she is a rookie, and look where she went.
I don't blame you.
And
I mean, talk about rising star leaps and bounds. Absolutely, Mr. Perp. What? Let's say you now, male and female.
Male was really a hard choice. You have Noah Alexander, you have Sue, you have Gamer Domain, Lethal Wire, Marcus Cade, Slade. There's just so many that you could choose from.
Slade in particular. I'm gonna change my pick. I'm gonna change my pick back.
yeah,
Jonathan Slade.
I didn't even think about that. I might have to change mine too.
I'm going Jonathan Slade for the male. That's a good choice. The turnaround, and especially if you had told me a year ago, especially knowing what the 18,000 different runs he's had in season 3 to even trying to the beginning of season 4, if you had told me the turnaround and the growth he's had, that is the definition of a rising star. Yeah, Jonathan Slade without question. So anyways, Mr. Perp, you're saying.
I would have to agree. Slade would be my pick for Rising Star of the Year.
Yeah.
Just the turnaround that he had is just leaps and bounds beyond what anybody else has done.
No question. Ladies,
female, I am torn between both of your picks. Serena really has elevated since not Warzone, Behind Enemy Lines.
Yep.
And Maria has just shot up the ranks, winning both the women's belts in her rookie season. You have to flip a coin on that one for me, honestly.
See, why I didn't pick Maria is because, and again, this is no disrespect to a rising star. A rising star is you are going to be, in the eyes of the WWE Nation, the next big thing for whatever the coming season is. I think Maria Constantina just hopped over that. I really, that's why I didn't pick Maria. I went with Serena because look at the debacle she faced in season 3 where she couldn't get herself out of a bad situation. It's almost like she was finding trouble and trouble was finding her. Finally tries to overcome it, gets met with Zoe Raven, and then finally has the turnaround of Behind Enemy Lines where everyone, I mean, no one was buying, I mean, not to be blunt, but no one was buying tickets to see Serena. They were booing Serena. And then at Behind Enemy Lines, they watch this match. Serena loses, unfortunately, and everyone was like, that girl. is match of the night. That was everything to me. And then defeating Maria for the women's IC championship at Clash of the Champions, and just keeps performing at a high level. I think Serena Tenebra, like I said, is the definition of a rising star.
You know what? You do a good sales pitch. I agree.
You could sell that to me for sure. You could definitely sell me on that.
Well, I mean, I can sell you all day long, but unfortunately, I am not the decision maker. You guys at home or whatever you may be are the decision makers. That is going to be the WorldZY Awards. WorldZY Mania 4 is coming up, ladies and gentlemen, and it is coming either March 5th or February 26th. I'm trying not to get those dates backwards there. Regardless, it is going to be an unbelievable show. We talked about minimizing the pay-per-view length. Obviously, we're going to be cutting down to 10 to 12, which means Season 4 is coming to an end. In my eyes, it's over. We already hit the regular season. Now we are in the playoff, so to speak. It is do or die. It is crunch time. For those, and I cannot stress this enough, if you are trying to get a strong story out there, it has got to be WorldZY Mania believable. I mean, it's got to be intense. It's got to be there. It's got to mean something. And whoever you're working with has to be either above you or on that same level trying to create a program to get to WorldZY Mania. This is the granddaddy of them all. This is the biggest of them all. We've had big names promoting, and it's going to continue to elevate, especially with, I mean, look at what we've had. HelloFresh, Magic Spoon. We actually have an upcoming sponsor that was actually leaked at Last Survivor, but we're going to announce here later on when we come back from break what that is. But regardless, WorldZY Mania 4, some big matches brewing ahead. What match in particular would you or are you looking forward to see Michelangelo Coop at WorldZY Mania 4?
Ooh. Um, I might have, since you got Slade on my brain. I'm really curious of what he's going to do and how he's going to handle finally making it to the big stage, to the golden crown that he's been looking to make his way to since he came here. He's been trying to find that way, so I'm really interested to see how he handles all this pressure, and I'm hoping he can rise to the occasion.
I mean, you got to wonder, where does Almighty Smooth fit into the equation? If AR Legend's going to get a ticket, what's going to be happening? But like you said, Jonathan Slade is already there. And as of right now, it is Jonathan Slade versus Lethal Wire for the Breakout Heavyweight Championship. Big match. Mr. Perp, let's hear from you. A matchup you are looking forward to or you would want to see at WorldZY Mania 4.
I have to agree that what's going on with the Breakout Heavyweight Championship is pretty exciting. You know, it's in the air right now. It's like it's got this mystery to it that wants to draw you in. I'm gonna take it to the ladies with Zoe Raven versus Rose Wolf, just because there's that it factor of Riley lurking around in the shadows. You never know what's gonna happen.
Well, the element of surprise is fading day by day, Mr. Perp, because again, it has to be cashed in at WorldZY Mania, or by, I should say, by WorldZY Mania 4. So whether it's in 2 days, whether it's in 2 weeks, hell, whether it's the day after the WorldZY Awards, or whether it's at the top of the hour of WorldZY Mania 4, it has to be done. And Riley still is holding on to that golden buy-in briefcase. That's that is an element that really can draw you in for WorldZY Mania 4. Touch up on Slade. It's crazy to think that it was Slade versus Hanzo Asashi at WorldZY Mania 3 for the ZY Cruiserweight Championship. We were talking about a rising star there battling for it. And now Slade, again, just a crazy story about Jonathan Slade. But this is not Disney. This is the real world. So Jonathan Slade, you keep putting in the work, keep putting in the effort. And, you know, as Disney say, may your dreams come true, hopefully. So I wish you the best of luck. My pick in particular, I want Giovanni Romano versus Sue at WorldZY Mania 4. I want it, and I want it bad. I want it bad.
I think everybody wants it bad.
Yes, we do.
Let's be honest, there's a reason why I traded Sue away.
Yeah. He And it's crazy too because again, man, I don't know if there was who was going to be the best bad guy of the year. I saw it. I saw it. A lot of people didn't think that they'd be real, but I saw it in his eyes that Sue would be a great bad guy. The way he talks, the way he walks, the way he carries about himself, but the fact that he can also deliver in the ring. I thought he was the perfect bad guy and is. He's no one can stop him right now. But if there is someone that again who has got to have been the guy, it's been his season, had a little derailing. Again, last year WorldZY Mania 3, it was Giovanni Romano versus Nino for the breakout heavyweight title, and Giovanni Romano unfortunately came up short after being the last Survivor winner. I think G would have won the Grand Prix. I really do.
I agree.
But I think that a very motivated and crowd driven, keep that phrase in mind, people, crowd driven Giovanni Romano is going to be the fatal bullet that takes out Suku.
Unfortunately, it could be.
I want to see it bad.
Unfortunately.
You give me that match at World
Sue's my
Mania,
champ, Sue's my champ. So,
well, that's the question too. You got to think about it like this, and I guess now is a great time to segue here before we start to wrap things up. Season 5, we're gonna play hypotheticals again. This is we usually have a new GM every year. We did a second one. We kept we had Javier as for a second reign here, but let's say you two get the hot seat again for year 2, so you won it. You're looking at the roster right now as it is. And why I'm segueing this is because Michelangelo made a very good point. If Giovanni wins, Sue could be gone to breakout due to the roster. I'm going to give you guys 2 picks, 2 men, 2 women. I'll start with Michelangelo since he made the good point here. Tell me who is going to be your champion right now. Let's say it is Sue versus Gio or whoever. Who are your 2 picks for season 5? Goddamn. Season 5 of the WWA. 2 men, 2 women.
wow, that could be champion.
You can pick the champion, and I'll do the same thing. If you can change Zoe Raven out of the equation right now with Rose Wolf if you want.
Oh, season 5, who could rise? Season 5 really could be Gio's season.
Is he your champ though?
Gio could be my champ.
So Gio's your champ. Now you got to pick 2. Your number 1 overall pick and your number 2 pick right now.
Who? Number 1?
Let's say Lethal's the champ over there too. So
Lethal's the champ of Breakout. Number 1 and number 2, probably AR Legend and Noah.
Wow. Woo! Oh my. All right, 2 ladies.
2 ladies. One's definitely Nina Rose because that's just gonna bring the show. That she's always gonna bring that force, and then yeah, Havoc is her home, but it'd be really close between Maria and Serena, but I'd probably edge out with Maria.
So AR Legend, Noah Alexander, and then you went Nina and Maria. That is a hell of a roster. Mr. Perp, now it comes to you. Season 5, you sign on the line for a new deal. Now you actually get to do the draft, which is a definitely a fun part of being a GM. Let's say right now, I'll let you finagle the champ, but Sue is the champ of Havoc here. Give me your top 2 and your top 2.
Well, I do think Lethal is going to retain his championship, whether it's by nefarious means or winning outright. So I'm going to take him off the board. And with my number 1 pick for the males, I think I'm going to have to go with AR Legend. If these are not already drafted to Havoc.
Yeah, that's all going to come down to the flip of the coin there. So there's one. Number 2. I am shocked right now here. Whew.
Hanzo Hasashi.
Really? Oh my.
Garthy was a very close second to Hanzo
Neither
Hasashi.
one of you picked Nino. I am stunned. Oh my god.
He's right there, but you wanna secure those up and comers as well. You know Nino's gonna bring you a show, so
Yes.
you those up and comers are hard to come by.
Yeah.
It's a risk situation. If you get him first, you know you're getting something good, but then you want that person that's going to bring an it factor. Everybody loves something new, and no offense to Nino, he's great. Like I said, he's still the face of Breakout without the title. But seeing somebody rise from lower below is what brings the ratings, in my opinion. Ladies, Maria Constantina, first pick, hands down.
No question. 2.
Victoria.
Huh? Victoria. Wow. Okay.
Victoria Townsend.
Ooh, nice.
That's a good pick. I think Victoria. If Victoria is missing one thing, and I think it's the emotional stability. If Victoria can keep that in check, Victoria is going to be a champ in season 5, no question. I can make a case of Victoria, if really puts in the right amount of effort, could be a WorldZY Mania 4, easily. See her on the card.
I agree.
Yeah, I've never had the luxury. I've always been the mean gene of the roster. So if I had to do 2 here, I'm gonna do Bravik. That's my new brand. Bravik is my show. Blue and yellow are my colors. And if I had to do 2 males, let's see here. I listen. I got to go Nino number 1, and the reason why I say that is because I understand where you're coming from, where you want to secure these rookies with how high of a stock it is. But that guy does not make it out of round 2 or round 3. There is no way. Again, I could almost see it if he skipped a beat. Maybe just say, hey, listen, I'll get him top 5 easily, but this is going to be. I can't see Nino skipping a beat yet. To me, it's unbelievable. Number 2 is going to be a really tough one. If I'm going to keep the champs as is, and that is going to be Sue and Lethal Wire, I'd say Gio. I still can't believe they were originally on the same show together. Gio would be 2, or if like I said, I'll go with you. I'll go with the route here. I'll go Noah Alexander. I will. I'll go Nino and Noah Alexander as a good top star rookie of the year who's going to be a top star. And the only reason I didn't say AR Legend is because I kept saying AR Legend prior. That is the only reason I kept saying that too.
It's a good mix.
So
In all reality, AR Legend got it.
Yeah.
You're getting that veteran and that rookie talent, so that's not a terrible way to go.
Plus, those 2 work together very well, possibly a future tag team down the road.
I don't see AR Legend and Nino being in the same draft pick, though. Meaning I don't see them being on the same brand. This was just because of rookie, but I think if someone picks AR Legend, the other's got to pick Nino in terms of value and just the stock. Ladies, without question, number 1, Maria Constantina. Yeah, just phenomenal. Nina Rose has got to be 2. That's just safe pickings there. I don't know why they probably wouldn't be on the same show. But if I'm also going to be realistic, they probably wouldn't be the same show. So then my number 2 pick, Victoria Townsend, is a great pick. But it's just a risk, too, when you do these things, Michelangelo's probably been there. When you look at these rookies, some come, some go. Some do great, and then they fall off the wagon halfway in.
Very
So
much
it's a
so.
risk. I think if Victoria can fine tune what I said, without question, Victoria would be my number 2. That's why I'm hesitant. But I'd say Serena be number 2.
Ooh.
Serena would be number 2. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good one. As if I stay here any longer, I'm going to keep second guessing myself. That's why I'm an announcer, not a general manager of the show. But with that being said, Nation, we are going to come to a close here of our podcast. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. We're going to give the final closing thoughts to Michelangelo GM, to GM Mr. Perp. We want to thank you guys for not only reaching out to them, but they're doing a great job getting back to you. I don't. The CEO sees the messages that you guys pitch with stories. You guys are doing great with promos, weight room, locker room. You guys are all doing fantastic jobs. They can't be more proud of you, and I can't either. You guys are doing wonderful things. Again, not me, the CEO. WorldZY Mania 4 is coming, as I said, but I cannot stress this enough. We are at the end of Season 4. At Last Survivor, Jonathan Slade, and any other stories that are starting to brew, that's it. You know, we have, if you really look at it, our next coming show, we are back on Sundays. We're no longer on Saturdays. We're back on Sundays, January 15th. We're going to be back again, rock and rolling January 15th, 20th, 22nd, 29th, and then the WorldZY Awards. So we have 3 shows and the WorldZY Awards, and then whatever may transpire, we may have 2 shows after that. We've got 5, give or take, okay? That's it. So if I cannot stress this enough before they get to their closing thoughts, if you want to be at WorldZY Mania 4, whether it's pre-show or the main stage, you have got to give them a compelling story. Whether it's in promo, whether you have been talking with your competitor you want to work with, you have got to pitch these stories in, and you have got to make it worthy enough to get to the granddaddy of them all. We would love to have everyone there, but we're also not going to be running a 6-hour pay-per-view. We're going to be trying to do our best to keep these things. We've been doing a great job. Pay-per-view time, not just excess stuff that we like to do, commentate and talk and etc. We keep these around 3 hours, 3.5. So we don't want to really exceed anything around above that, what we do as it is, other than entertain. So again, 10 to 12 matches is what WorldZY Mania 4 is looking like. So if you want to be on it, I cannot stress this enough to you guys. We're going to start with Breakout, the OG brand, Mr. Perp. Your final thoughts to the WWA Nation, to your Breakout roster, and more importantly, your thoughts or talent heading into WorldZY Mania 4.
I'd just like to put out that I am proud of every single person in this company, in the WWA. But to break out, show me that you want to be there at WorldZY Mania. Not only in the ring, but in your emotions. Show me that you want and you need to be at WorldZY Mania. And if you show me that, you'll get there.
We'll make it work some way, somehow. We want to deliver the ratings, money, and stuff. Michelangelo, your final thoughts about WorldZY Mania 4. You have been here from the start of Season 4 with your talent, your new signees, trades, etc. The podium is yours.
Yeah, you guys said it pretty well. If you want to make it to WorldZY Mania, you want to be on that stage, you're gonna need to bring me something that pretty much takes me out of my seat, takes me back, and you need to show it. You need to show that you can be on that stage, and everything's going to align the way we need it to and work out. And it's been an amazing season. The talent's been great. The new talent, the veterans, they've been in constant communication with me, and we've had a great run. And we showed another EFED, what we got, and we stood tall against it. And I couldn't be more proud of us.
Realistically, just looking at this right now, if you're looking at the title scene alone, Havoc Heavy, men's IC, women's IC, breakout heavy, women's undisputed. If the ZY makes it, if not the pre-show, there's 6, and the tag, that is 7 we're looking at right now.
Mm-hmm.
There is, let's just say right now, 3, maybe 4 on the main stage. You have to prove to them, right there, Michelangelo, Mr. Perp, that you are worthy of those 3 slots. Whoever you are going to be with, man, woman, centaur, doesn't matter. Prove to them that you have a compelling story that can be at the main stage of WorldZY Mania 4. And with that, I want to thank you guys so much. We are back to our regularly scheduled programming. I will see you next Sunday, 3 p.m. EST, with the #1 E-Federation on Twitch. And forever and always.